Today we're going to be talking about safe versus unsafe candle containers. Whether you're making a candle for one person or you're making a candle for 500 people, your candle containers need to be safe. You don't want somebody to buy your candle and end up getting hurt. So to ensure this, we are going to talk about what types of candle containers you should be using and what types of candle containers you should not be using. First, let's talk about glass containers. Glass containers for candles are probably the most popular type of candle container, and there's a reason why. Glass candle containers are very nice because you can see the flame as it's burning down. They're very aesthetic. They go with most homes and most decor options. But just like any other candle container, glass can be unsafe to make candles in. So let's see what type of glass is the best to use for candles. First off, if you're buying a glass container to put a candle in, make sure that it's from a company that sells glass candle containers. I believe that 3 millimeters thick is about the standard safety thickness for candles. So this is a glass candle container off of Amazon, and I will link this one below. I believe that this is 3 millimeters thick glass. You can see that it does not look thin, it does not look unsafe. I'm going to be testing these this week for my own candles. They do come with a lid, and that's another way you can tell that they're going to be good for candle making. Other glass containers that are good for candle making include mason jars or canning jars. Those have very thick walls. There's also votive sizes that you can get that are thick as well. The unsafe version of a glass candle container would be something like this. This is just a standard wine glass. It is much thinner on the inside because it's only meant to hold liquid. It's not heat resistant. You should not be lighting a candle that was made in this kind of glass because it could crack, it could explode, and you could get hurt. Bottom line with glass, always use something that is heat resistant. Next, let's talk about pottery and ceramics. So pottery and ceramics both seem like they should be things that are safe to put candles in, but that is not always the case. So with something like this, you would think that this looks like it might be safe to put a candle in, and the outside is glazed, which is nice, and that glazing is important for ceramics if you're going to make candles in them. But the inside of this is very porous. It is not safe to put a candle in because porous materials act like a wick and could cause a big fire, and you don't want that. I would not suggest pottery that is meant for planting for candle making. This would be adorable to have a candle in, but it is very porous. This is actually an incense holder, but is sealed on the bottom. This is cute, but it would not make a good candle because it is very porous. It is made out of sandstone, I believe. This could be used as a candle holder, I believe, if it was completely sealed with a glaze. If you do want to use pottery to make candles, I would suggest something like this. This has been sealed all the way inside and all the way around the outside with a glaze. It is not porous and it would not act like a wick. My best friend made this. She does a lot of really cool pottery, and I will link her Instagram in the description box below. Other good options for ceramics would be something like this. This is a teacup from World Market. This is kind of like the other mug that I just showed you. It's really cute. It's been glazed all the way around. It would not be porous, would not act like a wick. Most mugs that you can buy from any store have already been heat tested. Obviously, it's heat resistant enough to hold tea or coffee and should be okay to make candles in. Last but not least, let's talk about things you should never, ever, ever make candles in. Anything that will melt and anything that is flammable should never be used as a candle holder or a candle container. This might seem obvious, but cardboard, paper products, wood, and plastic, like plastic cups, should never be used as candle containers. Things like silicone molds and plastic wax melt containers are different because wax melts will not be lit on fire, and you have to lower the temperature of the wax before you pour it in the wax melt, or else it will melt. I don't have any objects that you could put a candle in that are wood, but I've seen people make candles in wood before, and while that seems like a really cute idea, wood can catch on fire. That's what we put in fireplaces, and it should not be used as a candle container unless you have sealed it with a glaze similar to the glaze that you would use for ceramics. While we're talking about candle safety stuff, let's briefly talk about some other things that you should not use for candle making. Recently, I was doing some research and looking into whether or not it's safe to put herbs, spices, organic material, botanicals, and dried flowers inside of candles. I know this is really popular, and honestly, they look gorgeous. They're so cute, but they should only be ever used as decoration. I wouldn't even put a wick in it. If you're gonna put that kind of stuff in wax, don't put a wick in it. Don't light it, because that can result in a campfire. The National Candle Association has a full blog post dedicated to this topic. They did a test showing the results. There's candles that just like have burst into flames. They look really cute because they have all of this botanical stuff on top, but when you light it on fire, all the flammable objects also catch on fire. I created a full blog post all about botanicals and dried flower safety when it comes to candles, and if you want to read more about that, I would hit that link in the description box below. Next week, we will be talking all about essential oils versus fragrance oils. So if you're interested in that, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out. If you never caught last week's video, I talked all about how to make wax melt and my exact formula for scent to wax ratio. Be sure to click on it right here at the end of this video. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting my channel, and keep creating.